refreshed it.
Okay, let's see. Are we live?
Oh, part 2. Here we are. Waiting for the Harry
There we
channel.
go. All right. Sorry about that. Little technical screw up on my part.
Still not showing for me. Oh, there it is.
Did you refresh?
All right.
I refreshed like 30 times.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Okay.
Hey, we're live. Excellent.
Sorry. My mistake. Anyway, so we were talking about how cool Julia Child was, but we have to talk about other things. So let me see. Oh yeah, let's see. Hamas Stork. That's also a good one. Let's see if that one shows up.
That's a phrase.
Let's see.
Burp.
Okay.
Nice.
Goose. No, wait, it's a stork with a baby. A stork with human shield.
Very nice.
And then
it's
let's see. We've also got the Florida alignments, which I thought was pretty good. Lawful good. Florida man caught illegally feeding wild alligator resists arrest. He's a good boy and he loves bagels.
There you go.
Yeah. It's good times.
I believe him.
Chaotic
Let him know.
neutral. Police say man with no hands and no legs is armed and on the run.
That's impressive.
Beware of his disarming personality.
Exactly.
Neutral evil report. Florida man arrested for tossing gator into Wendy's.
Respect.
Lawful evil. Florida man threatens to kill man with kindness. Uses machete named kindness.
There you go.
Yeah. Florida. Where would we be without Florida?
Is this a segue into the Florida Man games?
I don't know. Do we have Florida man games? We also have the white man's smoke detector.
Uh-oh.
This is the white
What's
man's chirping smoke detector.
I have a friend who does that. And I've yelled at her several times. Like, close the freaking tabs.
Do you guys not reset your computer periodically?
Oh, yeah. She doesn't.
You have a little more
you would
faith
hate
in Microsoft's elimination of memory leaks than I do.
Yeah.
7, 8,
I have another one named Bobcat
13.
Rampage.
I have 14 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Bobcat.
How many?
14 tabs
What?
on one browser, and just the one on this browser.
Do you have another browser open with a bunch of other tabs?
I got 14 tabs on
I
just
have
this
no.
one
I
window.
have-
Yeah, I've got
14 on
14
the
open
Brave.
right here. I've got 2 other browsers open.
I have
And
5.
they have much
people.
more than this open.
I
Yeah.
have 5, and now I'm down to 4 because I closed the
I
Japanese
don't
yen to
close
American
very well.
dollar.
I don't close my
So I wonder what Bobcat Rampage is. I put this down at the beginning of the week. I guess we'll find out. Oh, that's right. Man goes on rampage
Oh,
with
that's
tractor.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
with a
remember hearing
bobcat.
about this,
That kind of
yeah.
bobcat.
Yeah, I sent this to Geodes. He was very happy.
oh.
Yeah, he just starts
Excellent.
wrecking.
That's right. He's mad as hell and he's
cars.
not going to take it anymore.
Wee.
They're not gonna take
Now, honestly, you really need like a proper tractor with armor and
Oh yeah, you need the Geode's dream car, the killdozer.
Oh my god, is that the police?
Bulldozer, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing it. He's going after the cops because they were trying to arrest him, if I remember right.
yeah, become unmanaged, ungovernable.
This
Yeah.
is a Killdozer Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a baby. Killdozer, you have a child.
Good job. All right, let's see. Well, that's all
Do
the
we
palate
know?
cleansers.
Do we know why? Was it meth?
I don't know. Does it matter?
I'm just nosy. I want to know.
Yeah. Well, if he was the toothless bobcat operator, then we'd know it was meth. Man, meth just takes a real toll on people. I don't.
Yep.
It's not a
You know what
glamorous
the
drug.
mechanism? You know what the mechanism by which people lose their teeth from meth? Do you know why that happens, Harry? Do you understand?
No,
what the
I have not.
physiology
I haven't
is?
looked into it.
Well, it is nothing more than lack of care.
Hmm.
It is literally lack of care. when you're doing that stuff, and unfortunately, I have a history with a lot of that stuff. You stop caring about normal life. You really, truly do. You step away. You step into that life, and it's a different way of existing. Every day is different from a normal human's life.
Well, on to more serious.
You just don't take care of yourself anyway.
Well, I guess it's actually not more serious, but it's certainly more entertaining. The West is in danger. Milei makes explosive debut on international scene. So the president of Argentina went to the big-ass 2024 meeting of the World Economic Forum and generally just
trashed the shit out.
Just ripped them a new orifice. It was pretty awesome. Now, that's like 24 minutes of him talking, so obviously we can't play the whole thing. But I do have just him talking about why he was going. So we can listen to that because that's a manageable thing. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Well, I guess it's in. So what is the purpose of the trip to Davos? Plant the ideas of freedom in a forum that is contaminated of the 2030 socialist agenda. And the only thing it will bring is misery to the world. What will one day's exhibition be based on? Yeah. What is the meaning of the meeting? You know, it's
and also you don't even surf, so fuck you.
Yeah.
He just basically did that. He just came in and just told them to screw off. Yeah. I just love this guy.
I have a link to the whole conversation. I'll put it in the chat here. Let me see.
Good call.
And that way, anybody who wants to spend 24 minutes being amused, and obviously there'll be voiceover, so you can look at that there. Okay, so next section is what I call California Stealin'. So they made a big deal of this. Man wanted for stealing nearly $40,000 worth of items from Target stores. Now, this is actually some white dude, and you can see him running. Like actually running. I mean, the work ethic that he has brought to stealing from Target is impressive. No more of this just sort of going in there and then just sort of wandering out with stuff, daring people to stop you. No, he acted like a proper criminal and actually ran out the door. Very impressive work by this guy,
Man,
honestly.
You do not want to do that in Texas.
No, it's not going to go well. But yeah, this guy stole over $39,000 worth of merchandise so far, and the police are trying to find him. They really need to just stop this stuff.
They're trying to find him. You can't tell me that guy is hard to locate.
I mean, to be fair, he looks like every generic white dude I've ever seen.
Yeah, this guy has generic white dude written all over him.
He's probably average height, so that means he's probably about 5'9" to 5'11".
Yeah.
He's brown hair, has scruff, wore a gray hoodie. Do you understand how many of those are in California?
Last seen in the best food / Hellman's aisle at the.
Yeah, it's like
half the people in America are male. You'll never find him.
Yeah, you're never going to find this guy.
But you will.
Not unless their cop happens to be right there when he does it again, and they just clothesline his ass.
But this is a guy who knows he has no privilege. He's going to steal and get away with it, but he's going to actually like make an effort to just run out the door.
Yeah.
Some of those more brazen people just like trying to push their cart full of God knows what out the door to the waiting car outside.
Are you saying that the work ethic of a white thief is superior to that of a thief of color?
I may have accidentally done that, and for which I'm extremely sorry.
I can tell.
No, you're not.
This is the sorrow fairly.
Because we're better than that, right, Skep? We would never do that.
We are.
We would never do that.
We're good enough, and
people almost sort of like us.
Probably be his.
Right.
With that skin color, he could also be Hispanic.
That's true. He might be.
A white dude.
But here's something that's going to make Skep maybe a little bit angry. Thieves steal $20,000 in trees from Oakland Bonsai Garden at Lake Merritt. So a bunch of amateurs at Lake Merritt have been raising these bonsai trees, some of which are older than even Skep.
Yes, they were there when I was there.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Somebody broke through the fence and stole 8 of these bonsai trees.
Fucking assholes.
Oh.
Yeah. 8 trees were taken, the most that has ever been stolen from the garden at once. They include a Hinoki cypress that was about 50 years old, she said. The security footage showed the thieves attempting to take a 9th tree, a 60-pound redwood, but weren't
Oh,
able to
thank God
fit it
it's
through the
60
hole in the wall. The stolen trees are worth an estimated $20,000. Man,
That's so sad.
yeah.
Bitch.
Like it's one of those things though. It's like that's a pretty. The reason why the thieves can do stuff at Target and Walmart is because that stuff is pretty innocuous. These are pretty like. That's like stealing a Picasso out of the freaking Louvre. Like,
It is like that.
it's like, how are you going to resell that shiz?
Let's see, there was a
Unless
thing.
it's they already have there's
A
for
buyer
specific
who's not going to, who's never going to talk about it openly, but would like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
How
not
many
putting
people
this
actually
up on
keep their mouth
Craigslist.
shut?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like. Just
This is
find
going
bonsai
overseas,
tree
probably.
collectors and watch their asses. You'll find the trees real quick.
Just so you know what Lake Merritt means to Oakland. Lake Merritt is the pretty part of Oakland. It is the only really beautiful part of Oakland, and it is an absolutely beautiful little lake right in the center of the north side of Oakland, of the kind of the northwest side of Oakland. And it's always been kept up by the city, just, really beautifully maintained, and was always kind of a thing of pride for Oakland. It's got some beautiful old buildings on the west side of it. This is all on the east side, toward one of the worst parts of town, actually, and that just makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
over there by 280.
yeah.
God damn
Because
it.
Oakland is a terrible place.
Oakland is a suck place now.
So one of the
unfortunately.
stories that didn't make the cut, Skep, which I probably should have thrown in. There's a gas station off Hagenberger Road by Oakland International Airport
No, just where that is.
that has several thefts per day. People will
Day?
because
Jesus.
people going to the airport, especially if they see like a rental car, they will pull up next to it. If the door's not locked, they will just open it, grab the luggage, and then drive away while you're pumping gas. You don't
Wow.
even they will do that. And if the door's locked, they'll just break the window and then steal your stuff while you're there pumping gas. They will just do this, and this happens several times a day. How amazing is it? What is the issue? Wouldn't you think
do
in
that
Texas?
at a gas station? Do that at a gas station outside DFW.
Yeah, just try that in Texas, because
One time.
wouldn't you think that maybe they could, I don't know, send police there and stop them?
Harry, no. There will be two guys in the who are also pumping gas, who are carrying.
Oh,
and
yeah.
are just absolutely delighted to ventilate some asshole.
I was
break
thinking
some
that
guy's
the
window.
people with the right to the exclusive use of force could just do their job, but I'm a big fan of people doing their job.
Well, we help out the police around
Yeah.
here, and the police do their job around here. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's why we're different from California.
We're going to end up with Batman before too long. I mean, seriously.
You're going to end up with vigilantism. You
Yeah.
really are going to, and then you'll have contract vigilantism. And when that happens, you'll have a real breakdown.
Yeah.
The thin blue
it's
line
astonishing.
is thinner than everybody thinks it is.
Oh, I know I didn't put it in because it's even more depressing than the tree thing. Well, here's one more. Why not? While we're at it. So this is in Southern California. Carson Cemetery desecrated by thieves and vandals. They basically went into a cemetery in Southern California and just stole anything metal. Plaques on
Must be
chambers.
Romania.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. This just seems kind of like a low point for us, like this woman was saying. Yeah, they just went in.
That's gross. I always thought anything to do with stealing whatever in a cemetery is just
Yeah, it seems like a pretty big party foul. You just don't
Yeah.
do that. You just
Right.
don't do that.
just strip copper wiring like normal people. What the hell?
But just the sheer karma of ripping off the dead, that can't be good.
No.
Ah,
That cannot be good.
No.
Harry,
Yeah.
in California, when's the next election for governor?
Oh God, the next governor is going to be worse than Gavin Newsom, right? As bad as Gavin Newsom is, at least he's not a complete idiot.
Well, I know it's one of those things where it's kind of like that'll be, in my personal opinion, not so much the point of no return, but the point of everybody needs to leave California for about 15 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to have a Beetlejuice for governor of California. The next one's going to be your Beetlejuice.
Yep. Nope.
And won't be a smooth, suave talker like Gavin. This one will be hammers coming down on the privileged folk.
Which it won't actually come down because they never actually go after the privileged folk. They
Right,
go after-
exactly.
I don't know.
They go
See,
after the appearance of
you
stuff.
like a wealth tax will just like drive all of the rich people out of California. But
Well,
anyway,
I mean, there's already because
What
of the
about a
real estate.
one-time 70% assessment where the government of California would take 70%
Mhm.
of all the wealth of all the citizens of
Mhm.
California, but one time only, and they would never do it again, and they would put a pledge in law to not do that more than once. Then would you stay?
no. I can tell you that the big issue that we've seen. Well, one thing I did learn from the whole Trump situation is I didn't realize that the way that rich people avoided taxes was just by borrowing money against their assets rather
Yeah.
than selling them. And then as long as they die before they pay any taxes, they just don't care. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yep.
The way to fix that, if you want to fix it, is you simply say, if you borrow money against an asset you have in excess of your basis in the property, okay, meaning essentially what you paid for it plus some adjustments, but that's what the basis is. That difference that you borrow out of it, and I'm broadly speaking, obviously reinvestment or whatever is a different situation. You just say that gets treated as income and it gets added into the basis later so you don't get double taxed for it after the fact. This is actually relatively straightforward, and this is probably a thing that Skep and I could argue about for an hour. But I do think that this would be a way that works with the existing tax code that you could have rich people pay what really is kind of an income tax. They're just sort of borrowing the income they've made on properties ahead of time. And I think that would be fair and reasonable, and certainly better than any kind of wealth tax. Because the wealth tax is a bad solution to an easily fixable problem.
How do you audit their borrowing activity? Let's say that they borrow from a cryptocurrency, and then they're just trading cryptocurrency. How do you deal with that?
Well, I was thinking more in terms of real estate, things like that.
Oh, okay. But in terms of that, you can turn any capital value, obviously theoretically, into cash. And so, if you're going to borrow against the assets of something, you could borrow in cryptocurrency, and no one would ever know.
Yeah.
Problem is, cryptos actually have to become worth something at some
So
point.
if
for that to happen.
so right now, if you borrow money against your house, right, and you basically take equity out of your house in the form of a loan, there are tax consequences for that if you don't use it to actually improve the house.
Yeah.
And the way they enforce that is because if you get audited, they look at all the fine print on the stuff, and it wouldn't be any different than that situation. So, if somebody buys a property, it buys a property for $10 million, 20 years later, it's worth $100 million. They take a $40 million loan out on the property at prime, which would be fairly low most of the time when you're not printing a lot of money. The basis in your property just became $40 million, and you just took $30 million of the income if you use it to just go and do douchebaggy rich things like buy yachts or whatever. I mean, it's just a hypothetical. This is preferable to increasing capital gains tax. This is preferable to a wealth tax. It is not a great idea, but I think it's the least bad option. I mean, I don't like it, but
I like the way that it closes that loophole.
yeah,
It does that very effectively. It's definitely fit for purpose for that. I think it can be negotiated.
Yeah,
So,
and like I said, it
fairly
works.
easily.
It's compatible with the existing tax code, so it
Yeah.
would be actually relatively easy to implement. But
Good call.
be that as it
Interesting
may,
idea.
yeah. But I mean, I'm just a guy. I'm not I'm not a finance expert. It wasn't that hard for me to think of a solution. Maybe it's not the best one. It wasn't that hard for me to come up with it. It's as if the people in government who are supposed to know what they're doing aren't actually trying.
The, the problem is that it's just so easy to hide borrowing. It's just easy to hide. You know, one of the things we probably need to do if we really want to get serious about this stuff and really close the system is get rid of cash entirely and make every transaction auditable. Know who spent what amount, how much, maybe even down to the serial number of the dollar bills if it's cash.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you're gonna have to.
That's
You're gonna have to.
that's
you're gonna have
coming. That's coming. I promise it's coming.
Yeah.
it's gonna be a
Guaranteed.
fight.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Well, I mean, I'm
yeah,
going to be
well,
one of the people you're going to have to fight with on that. But
Absolutely.
same.
But now, one thing I wanted to say about my comment earlier, it's going to be at least 10 years before crypto has any reliable value. That world, that nebula has a lot of condensing to do before it's going to become a planet.
Well, there also has to stop people doing pump and dump schemes, which they'll never
Well,
stop
that's
doing.
what I'm talking about. That's exactly a symptom of what exactly right. Yeah, I agree.
yep. Let's
It
see.
was on a good track until until
It's
Silk
still-
Road got closed.
No, it still is. It still is. Just-
Most of them are most coins in crypto are worthless.
well, I don't think anything that exists now, including Bitcoin, will be worth anything in 10 years. That whole industry is about to change.
I just avoid the topic of crypto for the most part because I don't feel qualified to talk about it.
Well,
and
okay,
it's
well,
just
then I'm not qualified.
no,
to
no, no.
talk
I mean, you guys have been reading about it. I mean, I literally just do not pay attention to crypto. I mean, other than like the engineering process to farm crypto, I know
Yeah,
a
to
lot about
mine
that.
crypto. Yeah.
But in terms of like whether it's viable, fungible, usable, reliable, I just don't pay any attention to it. I just it's
the thing that will light off crypto will be when they start closing all these loopholes that you're talking about, and when what Serenity was reacting to, and I rightly I believe getting rid of cash when that begins to happen. Then,
well, you know what a good forensic accountant can do, and I
Yes,
can
indeed.
easily see the IRS in the case of high profile clients hiring really good forensic accountants to look at why somebody is living beyond their means based on their taxable income, and they will figure this shit out. They will figure this shit out because I don't see people, certainly people of means, getting away with this sort of thing. And realistically, a lot of those people shouldn't be paying zero taxes. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
no, they
Absolutely.
they shouldn't. They shouldn't.
Agreed.
But wealth
But
tax
it's-
is the worst idea in the world,
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
and we really need to lower
Dumbest.
property taxes because you should
so
own your
think
home.
It's bad to confiscate the wealth of the investor class. Really?
Well, I mean, inflation does that, and we all agree that's bad.
Nice.
Good
Well
job putting all that money in the bank all those years, Skep, so you could retire.
God damn it.
Yeah. So here, let's make fun of this. I have this filed under fake news. Groundbreaking solar panels are 1,000 times more powerful than traditional panels.
Finally here.
Wow.
Fusion panels.
1,000 times more powerful. Does that
Flying
mean
cars.
because right now, you can get solar panels with 20+% efficiency, meaning that however many watts of power per square meter hit them, it takes 20 something percent of that, turns it into power. 1,000 times more powerful than traditional panels. That's going to be fantastic. That means that for every watt hitting the ground, we'll get 20 watts of electricity. I can't wait. I can't wait. This is in the brighterside.news, and
They must
anybody
use
who believes
magnifying glasses.
anybody who believes this crap. A team of scientists achieved this breakthrough by creating crystalline layers of barium titanate strontium titanate and calcium titanate, which are alternately placed on top of one another in a lattice structure. Just shut up. Even if this is like a really good way to build a solar thing, it's not 1,000 times more powerful.
Well, it's
Well,
also
you're not
by,
going to get 1,000 times more energy.
You're not, because
I'm
you're
sorry,
already at
Sora.
20 something percent. At most, you could say it's 5 times more powerful. Serenity,
Well,
what were you going to say?
well, I mean, it's statistics. It's the art of lying. What solar panel are they basing it off of that they can say that it's 1,000? Is
Ooh.
it one of the more newer ones? Is it one of the older ones that came out a long time ago? Is that what they're basing it off of? Are they basing it on similar size? Are they not basing it on similar size? Because yeah, if they're basing it on that size that's in the picture, yeah, the ones that we have now aren't going to produce that much, and that one will probably produce better because even then it's newer. It's the art of lying. That's what it is. It's like I need the actual metrics you were putting against before I actually believe.
Oh, I get it.
Whole
So,
record.
so basically, if it was 0.1% efficient, then you might almost get there.
Yeah.
So if it's like the one that you used to get on the Sharper image thing in
Oh,
the
like-
1980s, the Sharper image calculator, then it might
Yeah.
be 1,000 times more efficient
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah, it's like what one are you basing
Oh.
it off of?
I guess it all
You have-
means what you mean. Depends on what you mean by traditional.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
okay, what's traditional? Is it the ones that we have in our backyard for the lights? So this way we don't have to run lines out to our backyard lights. This way the older dogs don't run into trees at night. Like what solar panels are you talking about?
Well, this
How
is
old were they?
yeah, this is dumb though, but good for pointing that out. So we have
Yeah.
some space articles. Too bad Functional isn't here to join us. He's not feeling well tonight.
Yeah, poor guy. Feel bad.
So Japan actually did manage to have a soft landing on the moon. However, their lander probably landed upside down.
Oh,
Yay!
Yay!
Japan, you don't shoot it in the way that where you sit on the planet. You need to shoot it the other way.
So this
way it
thing
lands
made
with
its
feet down.
descent. It actually, before it fully landed, ejected 2 little mini rover things, and then it was supposed to land on its side and then kind of roll onto its landing
its-
gear. That's
kinda
how
pull
they
an egg.
designed it. But instead, it sort of rolled backwards and landed on top of its own solar panels. So
Oh.
one of the rovers is
dead.
capable of directly communicating back to Earth, but there's no power going into these things. Nothing can recharge. So
They're just going to run down, and that's going to be
yeah,
it.
that's
That
going to
was
be
a
it.
shame.
They achieved
That's
a
so
soft landing.
sad.
They were the 5th country to ever make a soft landing on the moon. So I mean, good job.
Round of applause.
Kind of close. Maybe don't lose spirit, Japan. You can try again next time, and maybe this time you'll actually land with the shiny part up.
They should have made solar panels that had the ability, or the, like supplemental ones that were just on the bottom to ensure that you got some kind of signal. That's
Maybe
what I
just a
would like
small
to do.
one that's like that
Yeah.
1,000 times more efficient
Yeah.
thing. Just put it on there
Exactly.
just in case.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's kind of like why. Okay, those things have to be kind of rounded anyway. So why would you have it so it lands on its side and then pushes itself up? All you need is a little, just like a rock in the wrong spot, and you're just rolling all the way over. Like, guys,
Yeah.
you design anime. Come on now. Your
Yeah.
mechas in your animes work better than this shit does.
Yeah, just half as good as a giant robot. That's all we're
Exactly.
asking.
You have fake giant mechas in Japan for freaking club shows, and you can't design a rover that doesn't land on its side.
Yeah, does it? I don't know. This next thing kind of annoyed me, and I just made a little comment to myself, which just says it's fun to talk about how other people should spend their money. So,
boy.
Space News is saying, with access to space on the line, the U.S. is eating its seed corn. Sometimes success has unforeseen consequences. The United States Space Force and Air Force have, in essence, decided they will simply procure space launch as a service from SpaceX. This isn't an actual decision, but is nevertheless true enough. It has become the default situation, cost and sustainability. An unforeseen consequence of this success is that they've deprioritized rocket research and development efforts that would foster continued independent space access. This is such a load of crap. I have never
Yeah.
in my lifetime seen so much interesting stuff going on, both in industry and in the government. There are all kinds of different rocket boosters that are under development, different types of ion drives, different types of technology for propulsion.
Why is that, Harry? Why does private industry do this and government does not?
Well, government decided back in the 90s that the space shuttle was far too expensive and a pain in the ass to run, and that getting things up into low Earth orbit was just a huge distraction. It's not like NASA isn't doing research on new types of rocket engines. And I haven't covered all of them because, I mean, it's just kind of fringy, but there's like a sort of a controlled detonation engine that has a different model from the basically fiery stuff comes out of a bell nozzle that could be much, much more efficient than the traditional rocket engines. NASA is working on that. And a lot of the other technology about how to make the engines easier to repair, more reliable, all that stuff is done better by the private sector. I'm perfectly happy with the way things are going. I don't think they're eating their seed corn at all. If anything, they're just not spending all their seed corn sending a space truck to low Earth orbit.
Yeah,
What publication wrote this?
This is spacenews.com. Business Politics Perspective.
who publishes
The minute you're space news and you have business politics and perspective, F off, you're an editorial
Let's see.
site.
Who does... Let's
Yeah.
see. About Space News. Established in 1989. It's the most trusted and comprehensive source of news and analysis. Did you know that,
No.
Skep?
No,
I
you're not.
did
It's
not
owned by
know.
Multiverse Media.
Let's see how
Let's see, who's Multiverse Media?
ooh, I don't trust that.
Yeah.
That
I
looks
don't
like a
the
Scott.
sound.
That looks like
Space
a
News was originally owned by the Army Times Publishing Company, which was acquired by Gannett. Space.com, later renamed Imaginova, acquired Space News from Gannett. Space News currently owned by Pocket Ventures LLC, which acquired the publication from Imaginova in 2012. So they've had it for a while. Or at least we think that. When was this article?
Maybe they
written?
bought it in Bitcoin and we just don't know.
Jump into.
giggity.
Yeah.
Pocket Venture LLC is based out of Santa Fe, New Mexico.
No, that's sus. Probably used their meth money to buy it.
Exactly. Small to middle market companies in the outdoor sports, environmental, and technology arenas that have a digital upside.
Want to learn more or partner with us? I should just fill this
No.
in. I'm going to make money. All right. So this is terrible.
I want one more.
That's right. The more you buy, the more you save. The more you save, the
They
more you
have-
can buy.
They have 2 magazines. They own Space News, which is an online magazine, and they own Outside. And that's it.
Oh,
Is
okay.
outside like a sports fishing?
Pocket Outdoor Media, now the world's largest creator of outdoor and healthy lifestyle content. It's one of those magazines. where it's
Magazine
not
for
the-
ex-cons.
like, basically.
Baby mamas.
but-
How many is too many?
Those are the only 2 they own.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's
I'm just imagining what outside
Oh
would look like
my.
if it was a magazine aimed at ex-cons. Okay, now I'm really amused. I like
There
the
you go.
potential of that as a joke.
Ex-con.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally just an outdoor The other thing they own is just literally an outdoor magazine. That just looks like it's one of those magazines that's basically built to just push products. Because part of the main website for outside.com is it's talking about North Face, Gatorade, Garmin, and Volkswagen. Like,
Nice.
that's on their main page, like their big clickables, and they're talking about like 20 plus brands have partnered with us, and it's like, yeah, you're just a commercial magazine. That's all you are. You're just there to push products. That's it.
I'm gonna skip the entire block of stuff that I just labeled as erection news, which is really just election news.
Okay.
And go,
Thank
since
you.
we're talking about magazines, let's just go straight to this. Sports Illustrated entire staff told their jobs have been eliminated after Authentic Brands revokes license to publish. Union vows to fight for every one of our colleagues. Okay, well that's a good idea.
And you'll lose.
So they were essentially using the name Sports Illustrated. They were paying for the rights to use it, and they didn't pay their bill, and
Yeah.
so they can't publish Sports Illustrated, and
Damn right.
that
See you
means
later.
it's done.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the end of that. That's the end of that company.
The
This is
union
called-
can vow all they want. You cannot get
vow
blood
away,
out of a
lad.
turnip. There is no there. There are no
Right.
jobs to fight
There's
for.
no cash.
There's no
And
cash.
And the
The-
creditors are all ahead of your employees, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sports Illustrated hasn't been worthwhile in like 30 years. The only thing that they ever made, and I remember reading an article about this years ago, the only issue they made money on was the Sports Illustrated bikini issue.
Yeah.
And that died the minute they started putting,
Fatties and trannies.
Well, I was going to say, it was the minute they started, and specifically it was trannies, because there are guys out there who like bigger girls. But the minute they started putting trannies on there,
Well,
and they weren't that attractive.
their first attempt at bigger girls was actually athletic women. It wasn't
Yeah.
anything to
Yeah.
do
Which
with
is
plus
what it
size.
should have
They were
been.
just like they were actually like gymnasts or
No, I was talking about the
wrestlers or whatever.
Darcy Blows.
yeah. But then that was the next step.
Now they can
Yeah.
be centerfolds in Outside Magazine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Yeah, Moby fucking Dick, in a bikini.
Oh, God.
Everybody knew what it was.
Yeah,
Nobody
everybody-
thought it was anything more special than just the pretty
Yep.
magazine.
Yeah.
The Sports Illustrated of the Michael Jordan days died a long time ago. They were hanging on by a thread for the last 30 years. This is not a shock.
Top
I
10
mean, they
signs
lasted
your prison
long.
pen pal is a keeper.
As long
God,
as he never says my.
I'm way
my-
more amused by this idea
my
than
former-
anything else. Sorry,
as,
Serenity.
As long as he
Sorry.
doesn't say my former wife, you're good. You're
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Because that means he didn't kill her.
All right.
Bless his
Enough
soul.
jocularity. Yeah, Sports Illustrated. Sorry, Sports Illustrated, but just print journalism is it's a bad place to be.
Yeah.
It's you really have to know what you're doing to make this work in the current year.
Which amazingly, there's still magazines out there that make it work, and they aren't even the titty magazines.
Yeah.
So it's kind of amazing. It can be done. You just got to be willing to do it. And Sports Illustrated just wasn't willing to do it.
Well, okay, so Sports Illustrated, if it's just the swimsuit edition, you can get that for free online. That's not a big deal, right? And if it's people talking about sports, you need to do a better job than all of the talking heads that are on YouTube.
Yep.
You know, where they have no overhead. It's just two people, you know, one of them wearing a Chelsea jersey and another one wearing a North Ham jersey talking about sports ball. And there's so many of those people. And compared to the magazine people, look at the engagement that you have with your audience. You can, you know, if you're doing a live stream, you can super chat, you can set up a Discord, you can have all this stuff. That I don't see how a print magazine and something like sports can even compete with the cadre of individual and small group producers of sports commentary that are out there. I think it's, I don't know. I don't know much about this particular thing, but that's sort of what my read is of the situation. And I don't think it's all that surprising that Sports Illustrated couldn't pay its bills. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
it's
not happy
surprising.
that these people are out of work. Not at all.
Yeah.
But I
But
think
at the
it's kind of
same
like
time-
the buggy whip factory finally closed.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, union, what are you going to fight for? If the bill isn't paid, the bill isn't paid. You can't force them to pay the bill.
So does this mean that that Martha Stewart was the last of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover models?
Yes, it does.
Nice.
That is going to make
Way
a
to
great,
go, Martha.
a great trivia question in about 20 years.
No, what's going to happen is Sports Illustrated will be pushed around behind the scenes to behind the scenes sellers for about the next few years, and some foreign entity will buy it. That's what's going to happen. It used to be Russian or Chinese. I don't know if either of them can afford it anymore. So it's probably going to be either a Middle Eastern company is going to buy it, or some South American company is probably going to buy it, or Canadian maybe. And then it'll
Yeah.
come back out as rebranded, and then it'll go from there.
Yeah. Well, this next one actually pisses me off because it's not going to be rebranded. It's just gone, and it
die.
irritates the shit out of me. Bay Area paint giant Kelly Moore shuts down, closes every store. Kelly Moore makes the best paint you can get in this area. Professional painters I know Actually, one of them even let me use his discount code from like the big painting company that he worked with to buy paint for my house. It's the best. It just is. And but in the current market, they're just closing down because essentially you just can't keep up with the cheap prices that other places are having, and the big box stores, sell their own house brands of paint. So it's
Well, I mean, also on top of the fact that it's not cheap to have rental property in California anymore.
no.
Like, it's just too expensive.
After
just too
78
easy to
years in
make paint.
business,
It's-
Bay Area paint giant Kelly Moore announced it is shutting down and closing every store nationwide.
It's just too easy to make paint that's good enough.
Yep.
Not as good as Kelly Moore, and I agree with you about the quality of Kelly Moore paint. I've used it.
Yep.
You're absolutely right.
It's the only thing I want to use on my house or anything I
Right.
care about, but I'll just have to find,
what the inside of this house is, as a matter of fact.
just have to get some bear
Not the
paint
outside,
or
but
something
the inside.
instead. Ugh.
Dutch Boy
No,
usually works
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
well too.
Actually, Sherwin-Williams isn't terrible.
No, it's not.
It's not terrible.
I will preface that with they have low FOD, whatever the type of paint that basically is low smell.
yeah,
water.
low volatile
It-
organic something or other. But yeah, basically the stuff that doesn't
low
give you
VOD,
headaches.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, garbage.
Yeah.
The
Garbage.
volatiles are there for a reason. The
So
volatiles
Stinkies.
transport the paint, and they allow the paint to flow,
And then they go away.
and then they vanish. That's called drying.
And what you should do is just leave or open a window.
Right.
So
so
until the springtime. And
But you're
open
saying the low, now is it VOC? Low VOC, not VOD.
I think
VOC,
it's VOC.
VOD, or something. I
Yeah, the
don't
low
remember what
VOC
it is,
stuff
but
you've had
the-
bad luck with.
Those are volatiles of color you're talking
Ba-
about.
Yeah, yeah.
basically the thing that gives that nice like paint smell that
Mhm.
lasts for a couple of days while
Mhm.
it dries, like Skep said. Yeah, that stuff. So it has zero staying power.
Yeah.
Absolutely zero.
sucks.
It's like basically
Volatile
anything
organic compounds. That's what it
Yeah.
stands for.
There you go. That because we have that at work during when we were shut down during the Panini lockdowns.
hmm
There was a bit of a renovation done just to make since there's nobody going to be there, but due to strata stuff that you had to comply with, low VOC stuff has to be used. Anyway, absolutely just like scratches immediately. You're constantly having to touch things up. It chips off. Like there's no, and I'm talking about areas that are also low touch, not just the high touch stuff, which is a disaster.
hmm
Like the paint that was before, which probably had to literally jackhammer off the walls. And I couldn't tell you what brand or whatever, only that it was very old. That had no problems, just regular wear and tear due to age and if somebody actually took a chunk out of the wall. But everywhere else where it was minimally traveled, it looked brand new. Yeah. So just don't. It's not worth it. I know a lot of people who have like if you're pregnant and renovating, people will use that. I don't know. I feel like if you're going to be renovating for a nursery and you're like 8 months pregnant, you've poorly planned things. But anyway,
I was about to say you should have done
or
it.
I
before
don't know,
then.
maybe you should just not be in the home for a few days, right? But like, I don't recommend. Buyer beware if you go for something like this through Sherwin-Williams. I don't know about other brands; it might not last for more than like a year.
hmm
Hey,
Yeah.
I do know the best primer I've ever used is Kiehl's.
Well, also
that shit.
okay, paint you put on things that you put in your house is one kind of paint. Paint you put on the
Yeah.
inside of your wall, inside of your house on the walls is another kind, and the paint you
Yeah.
put on the outside is yet another kind.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's disregarding what you put on bridges and ships. We're just going to set that aside.
Oh, that's
But
yeah, that's
Don't get me started about red lead.
yeah, but if you want to, depending on what you're going to do, there are definitely some good options out there. If you
yeah.
want to paint like a dresser or do anything like that, look at General Finishes. They make exceptionally good products. I have yet to find a General Finishes
Harry-
product I
Harry-
don't like.
Harry.
Harry, you're going muffled again.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. it's like it almost sounds like bandwidth, Harry.
It isn't. We're fine.
was-
Yeah,
say
well,
it's-
it's not your bandwidth. It's something inside StreamYards. I think StreamYards is having trouble transmitting what you're sending it.
So chat, can you tell me, do I sound, I mean, I always sound bad, but do I sound worse than usual? Is there a
You sound
technical
fine
issue?
now. You sound fine now, but just
I think
while you were
StreamYards is just a
talking-
giant pile of crap. That's
Yeah,
basically
that's what I think,
my
too.
working theory.
Exactly what I think.
All right,
I've
well,
actually found this thing in a comparison between standard VOC paint and no or low VOC paint. They say it's a comparison. And they actually fairly they talk about durability. They call it a tie. They call it for standard. They say that the standard VOC is much better for color than the low VOC. Cost, the best for cost is the standard VOC. It costs substantially less, like $10 less a gallon. And the but odor is low VOC. That's the one that it won. It is best for odor.
that's his job.
Yeah.
I'm glad it won for its job.
But
Yep,
seriously, if
that's
you're
it.
going to paint a dresser or something, or stain it, just look at the stuff by General Finishes. They make really, really good stuff. Don't.
So
Mineral
not
finish.
what's that? Because Serenity knows this, that like those horrible people who like paint over
Chalk
nice
paint.
furniture.
It's chalk paint.
Chalk
And
paint.
I
like
wanna
Dixie
I wanna
Rose.
beat those big
Or Dixie Belle. Dixie Belle. That's it.
Dixie Belle is the brand. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I out of principle now hate them. I don't care.
Oh,
if they
yeah,
still-
same.
If they save babies out of burning buildings and
Nope.
rescue puppies, I hate them as a company just because of one particular user on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like
No,
it's a personal vendetta against them now.
yeah.
Yeah. There's.
Chalk paint is used by two different groups of people: people with small kids,
Mhm.
or it's used by the lazy ass, worthless, air quotes, furniture refinishers who use it because they don't want to be bothered to actually fill in scratches, so they put chalk paint in
Oh,
there.
good
because it's thick and
Lord.
it fills. I hate those people. They make beautiful. They're like, oh, it's composite. I don't care. It was still prettier than the IKEA piece of shit you just made, and that's an insult to IKEA. IKEA looks better,
Yeah.
but I hate those people. I hate.
Man, IKEA's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's like, and I know these women are making up these numbers, and some of the men, because there's men doing it now too. They make up their numbers. Like I bought it for $50 and sold it for $500. No, you didn't.
No, there's no way.
Lies. Yeah,
Well,
either
they
that-
only
well,
have to lie
also-
about that because they don't know how to fish, right, Skep?
That's exactly right.
Like if that were
Exactly
true,
right.
you wouldn't be making a TikTok, sweetheart.
It's a-
'cause that's how you make extra money. Don't play me.
So I have a whole bunch of stuff here that we could talk about. I have a thing that I'm going to save for later, which is called cringe theater, because we can do that. We can do that next week. And I'll just leave that dangling as a threat for everybody, because
Nice.
I've got some great stuff here. We can delay science, we can delay aerospace, we can delay tech news. You know what we can't delay? A section I just call you.
Ew.
Okay, Madonna surprises Lil Nas
Oh God.
or
no.
Nas X
Ew.
backstage at his
Nope,
concert. Better put
Not
on a
looking.
show for me.
Not
Oh,
looking.
God.
Not looking. Nope.
Oh
Not looking.
no!
I
no,
refuse.
No.
These eyeballs have seen some shit.
No,
but even though they've
no,
seen
no,
some
no.
shit, I ain't looking.
Yeah, so
Blech.
I think somebody made a joke which I really like. You know, imagine you had a time machine, you could go back in time about 30 years, and you told somebody there that Roseanne Barr was going to be more attractive than Madonna. It's
You
like
get
they wouldn't
slapped.
believe you. They wouldn't
get
believe you.
Slapped.
That woman is terrifying, and he does not look like he's having a good time.
Well, he's also
No.
a gay man, so she does nothing for him.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, little Nas. Oh yeah.
Am I
Lil
supposed
Nas
to know
is
just
gay.
from the outfit, or is this just a thing that people know?
Well, no, he's
It's
the,
kind of a
he's,
gay outfit.
yeah. Well, he's also the jackwagon who, in very intentionally, is trying to piss off like the Uber Christians.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I danced like he made out with the devil in one of his music videos, and it's like, honey,
Oh
you're pathetic.
yes.
He's
yes.
that dude. That's who he is, and it's like, honey, please.
It's
Madonna was
it's
doing
very
this shit
passe,
before.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
it's
yeah,
like,
you've actually got two
please.
mentally ill people in a picture.
And we're not talking like who is that English model? And we're not talking like Elizabeth Hurley in that movie from
No, 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 no,
2000.
no, no, no,
We're
no,
not talking
no,
about
no,
that
no,
devil.
no,
We're talking
no,
about
no,
like
no, no.
the
No.
Legend,
Ugly, the
like I am
dude.
the
Yeah,
Old
like the
Pitch.
horns
We're
and
talking about old Pitch.
Yeah.
Old
Yeah.
Scratch.
Old Scratch.
But it's just, and he also tried to do the whole bandwagon when the Cat Williams stuff started to happen. He's like, yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of people
Woo.
in the industry who told me to do things and asked me to do things, and rappers who aren't straight but try to act like they're straight. It's like, honey, I can guarantee you every single person knows who the non-straight rappers are. They're pretty freaking obvious. They cannot hide it. Like, calm down. Your time has flown. Let
Yeah.
it go.
This is such a
No.
cringy headline thing.
That's a bad picture.
The
bad
Like a
picture.
Virgin star joked that the rapper better put on a show for me. Oh, God.
Ugh. Well, it's not
Okay.
to mention
Someone
the fact
calls
that
DPS.
you can talk
Palate
shit.
cleanser.
Well,
You
it
can talk
belongs
crap
in
about
you, like you.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
can-
we have
you
one. We have one more, and I think you can guess what the general theme is since it's at the end of the show. But this one is this is actually pretty terrible. I want you to suffer with me on this last one. Ethan Hawke addresses directing daughter Maya's sex scenes in new film. I couldn't care less.
You're not helping the pedophilia shit in Hollywood,
Dude,
there,
I
sir.
mean, I'm sorry,
You're
but
not
if
helping.
any dad who can just turn that switch off in his head
Nope.
and do that,
Nope.
I got to wonder what the
Nope.
hell is wrong with this dude.
Nope. Nope.
No,
Well,
no.
he was married. Considering who he was married to,
Uma Thurman, it says.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uma Thurman.
And considering what that woman probably did to get in Quentin Tarantino's good graces, I think pretty much there's a lot of going on in that family.
I've seen Quentin.
I'm so glad I'm different from these people.
I've seen Quentin Tarantino in interviews, and he's actually seems like kind of an interesting guy. And he certainly interviews well. I mean, he'll go to a small interview, and he'll like engage. I mean, he's like a big deal, right? He'll engage. He'll talk to people. He doesn't kind of throw his gravitas around all the time. He seems a lot more likable than a lot of other people in Hollywood. I mean, I'd much rather talk to... if you were going to lock me in a room with Quentin Tarantino or James Cameron for an hour, I would pick Tarantino.
Oh, Quentin Tarantino.
It would be a
Tarantino
way
the
better
entire
conversation.
way. Because
Who wants to talk to James Cameron?
after the
Fish.
third hour of Titanic, I'd shoot him.
Yeah.
Allegedly. But it's one of those things
Metaphorically.
where but like I'd talk to Quentin Tarantino because I'd want to talk to him about Japanese cinema because the man knows a lot about Japanese cinema. But at the same time, like he's also got some screws loose.
Well, he's not
So,
David Lynch screws loose. You know, that's...
yeah, but I'd have so much fun talking to David Lynch though.
See,
That
you-
would be
David
an
Lynch
entertaining
would be
conversation.
interesting.
You just
cat.
you don't mind creepy as long as it's connected to smart. That's what it sounds like
I
to me.
don't mind creepy. I don't mind creepy as long as it's the non-sexual creepy. If it gets into sexual creepy, then I don't want to be near you. But if it's like
But
if
this
it's
this
just-
Ethan Hawke thing is terrible.
that's
That's weird.
No,
It's like
that is-
it's like my God, if
it's
nothing
pervo.
else, just send an assistant director and the intimacy coordinator to deal with it. Just there's something wrong with this guy. I mean, whatever genetic protect your daughter genes that are
Why?
supposed to be
No.
working are just not working in this guy's head.
But
Oh, yeah.
but not even that. Why even have such a scene? Why not do an applied fade to black? Why do you even have to show it
I agree.
yeah, like why
Yeah.
you say
into
like,
a movie that
It just
you,
makes people
your daughter's
uncomfortable.
in?
I mean, a lot of times it's not so much titillating; it's just uncomfortable. It's not exciting in the way that they want it to be exciting. It's just the sort of thing that if somebody happens to walk in the room when I'm fast forwarding over that scene, I don't want to look like a creep because there's a
Well,
scene
see-
of some guy directing his daughter in a, you know, it's
Well,
just
like-
Yeah.
ew.
99% of all sex scenes in all movies don't need to be there. There's certain ones that it makes sense, like white single female, it made sense. Fatal Attraction, it made sense, but most of them not. Like, there's no reason
Or like
for
Body
it.
Double or something. Wasn't that a Kathleen
Yeah.
Turner thing?
Yeah, the body double. But it's like
Yeah.
those ones it makes sense, but those are rare. Most movies don't need them. And they go on for too long, and it's just creepy. And it's like, and then there's some stuff like the Euphoria crap where you have
Oh,
like
that's gross,
20-year-olds playing teenagers who are underage, and it's just like, ew, why are we doing this?
Just
like,
just
blah,
to
blah,
allow
blah.
them, they're like, and if anyone complains, they're like, well, it's okay because they're not really teenagers. Like,
I don't care. They're playing
Yeah, but-
teenagers. It's
but
disgusting.
they're
Blah, blah, blah.
playing
Yeah.
15 years
Blah,
old.
blah, blah, blah. It's like Riverdale. Riverdale was just weird. Like, it's like all this stuff is just weird. And it's like, honey, does your PR person not, like, stay on the internet and see all the crap going on that's been going on in the last, like, 4 or 5 years where everybody's calling everything in Hollywood pedophilic? Like, did that PR person, like, get fired that day and didn't just run up to you and slap the mic out of the person's hands to go, shut up? You're not helping shit, you moron.
So I can't remember. I mean, okay, because I feel like I need a palate cleanser. Have you guys all seen Birdemic?
Yes.
I've heard of it. I have not watched it.
I
Would you-
love it
Yeah,
so
Would
much.
you like
not
to see
seen
the?
it.
Would
I've
you?
not seen it.
Would you like to see the trailer for Birdemic?
Go for it.
You really do.
it.
Trust me, you really do.
yeah.
Okay.
Go to town, Harry. Go to town.
So
Oh,
now you got a big
Jesus, I can already
payday,
tell
a big
this gonna be
stock option,
bad.
huh?
Yeah, I earned it. All those big deals I did with NCT. $1 million in
Oh
revenues
God,
and sales.
it's so bad.
You've done a
It's so
great
bad.
Because you know that the trailer is supposed to contain the best parts of the movie to entice you to want to watch it.
Which is terrifying.
This gives you an idea of what the acting really is like.
job, Rod.
There's
Meet Rod,
Hi.
a young software salesman on
Oh
his
my
way
God,
to
it's so
achieving
bad.
his Silicon Valley dream.
Oh,
Thinking about opening up a green tech company.
Really?
Meet Natalie, a beautiful young
Cringe.
fashion model driven by
Oh,
Yeah, it's
cringe.
Natalie. She's a fashion model, but it goes very Alfred Hitchcock at a certain point. Here, let's just fast forward to
What?
that part.
Just
Where all the birds start attacking everybody.
so bad.
Yeah, very exciting. There's
Sora,
your
do you
gratuitous
just
scene.
like cringe stuff? Like, what is
Oh,
this?
sometimes. But
Birdemic
this
shock
is,
and terror. It's fun. This is fun
This
bad.
is- Yeah.
Okay.
It's like The Room and stuff like that. It's made with passion
Yep.
and it's like it's charming. It's charming.
Well,
Okay?
one guy was the director. I mean, he did almost every single thing on here, and he got a handful of people to do the acting in quotes, if you can even call it that. He did the special effects, the producing, the directing, the editing, and it's pretty much a solo project. And it
Okay,
is
then
a
I-
terrible movie.
It's cringy,
He
but I can
wanted to make a
respect that.
movie.
I
He
can
did.
respect that.
Yeah, no, and it's actually great, and you should definitely watch it because it's fantastic. Now, if you know the Central Coast area, as an added benefit, you will recognize many of the locations they used to shoot this thing.
oh really?
So they're claiming that it's Silicon Valley, but they actually did most of the location shots in Half Moon Bay, and yeah, it's
I know where that is.
yeah, it's totally not right. It's like
I would recognize Half Moon Bay. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's a
like
fantastic
I'm
movie.
on all those places.
I totally recommend Birdemic. Fantastic.
Solar power accessories?
This morning, flocks of seagulls and crows were found dead in downtown San Jose.
Like I said, I can
along
respect
Highway
since it's a
101.
James
it is a
Wynn.
small
I
I thought I
project.
told
Yep.
you to stand back. These birds are contaminated.
The crows and seagulls.
God.
Yeah, it is.
I can
It is a
respect
pretty
it.
fantastic thing. Birdemic. It's a fantastic movie, and you definitely should watch it.
Hey, I can respect the work ethic. That's about as far as I can get.
Yeah. Well,
Birdemic.
I do have some bad news for you, Sora. This came in right before the show. Mars loses contact with Ingenuity Mars helicopter.
Oh no.
Baby.
Yeah, I know. That was like your favorite space probe, wasn't it?
I like all of them. They're just make me happy because they're sweet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just is it just they think they'll bring him back or is it really gone?
Well, I mean, it's a little far
They
away
don't
for a
know what's
service
wrong.
call.
That yeah, you get a service tech out there, but it's going to take a couple of days.
But
Yeah.
but out of respect for it, though, it was on its 72nd Red Planet flight.
Honestly, it's already
Yeah.
exceeded the expectations that people had
Yeah.
for it. So I think it's fine.
Good little flyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your service has been appreciated, good sir. Rest in peace. So I
Yeah.
salute you.
Or pieces.
Shush you.
Yeah, maybe it was maybe a friendly alien adopted it.
Maybe.
it was
High
a
speed,
sorry.
high speed rapid disassembly, unscheduled disassembly.
Yeah, you think maybe maybe somebody adopted it?
Yeah.
Maybe it
Now
was
it's going to be a
little-
toy
it was
for a small Martian child.
Yeah.
It's going to turn out to be
Here's
Wally.
that drone. This doesn't look like Glork brand drone. Where did you get this thing? Did you find that?
We have drones at home.
That's not the drone I asked for. You're not my real dad. Okay. All right. It is time for us to think about
End the
stopping this
stream
thing.
again.
Yeah. But this
For
time on
real.
purpose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. Well,
Mistaken.
this has been your misplaced Minions of the Zoo for Saturday. Thank you, panel. Thank you, chat. Zoo's closed.